Been wanting to make this video for a while. I've got so many ideas going around inside my head about videos, but this one is one I've put off because it may offend someone. Hi guys, and welcome to my video. Today is a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time and never really got around to it because I know it's going to upset a few people, and that's okay now. It's for the right reasons, okay? If you're offended, then you know, be offended. It's up to you. This video's done in all this video means well. It's a guide basically as to what to and what to not say to somebody that's grieving. I've had lots of people coming up to me and saying certain things, and I said them myself to people because I didn't know what to say, and so I thought I'd do this video to help people understand that with all their best intentions, the things that are said don't necessarily make the grieving person feel any better. So even though there is nothing that you can say, but there are things that you should avoid saying. So I've got a few of those, and at the end I've got a really big one. I've got 10 or so things not to say. Number 11 is something that you shouldn't do, which has happened to me once, and it broke me, to be honest with you, and so I'd ask you not to do that. One of the things that I get asked a lot is, how are you? Right, now somebody that's grieving like myself will just turn around and go, yeah, fine, I'm fine. They're not fine. They don't know what to say. Something that you should say instead of how are you is, how are you today? Because you're showing a level of empathy, knowing full well that that grieving person is not going to be okay tomorrow, or may not be okay tomorrow, or may not be okay in 10 minutes time, because grief will be, you're kind of functioning one day and not the next. So a grieving person is never okay, regardless of what they say. So yeah, don't say that. It can be, because you're just going to turn around and say, yeah, fine, I'm fine, you know, when really they just want to say, I feel like shit, and you don't want to hear that. So just say, how are you right now? The other thing I've heard is, she's in a good place. Fuck no. See, I don't even know how to respond to that one. It's regardless of what your belief is. I mean, I believe in an afterlife. I believe that my wife is in a better place, but not everybody has that. Not everybody has that level of knowledge. I mean, for me it's knowledge because I experienced it in my near-death experience, and I'll put a link to the video below. So I know there's an afterlife, and I know that she's in a better place, but not everybody does. So something you could say would be, you know, she'll be sorely missed. You know, I miss her. Let people know that that you miss her too, or him, or them. The other one is, I know how you feel. And on one level you do, if you've suffered with grief, you do. But no two griefs are the same. You know, somebody that comes to me and says, yeah, I lost my grandparents, I know what you feel. They do, they know grief, they do. But I lost my wife, and the situations are completely different. So even though you do know grief, no two grieving people grieve the same. So, you know, it's difficult, because what do you say to that? You know, you just something like, you know, you're in my thoughts, you're in my prayers. And I'm not taking away from anybody else's grief. I really aren't. I really aren't. I really am not, because grief is horrible, but no two people do it the same. One thing that really gets on my, and I've heard it before from religious people in the neighbourhood, it was God's will. And you can shove that one where the sun don't shine. I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in a divine creator. I don't believe in the God that we've created for ourselves. Guy up there damning you and blessing you because of this, that or the other, and he's got a white beard, and you follow his rules and he loves you very much, and if you don't, he'll send you to... that is just... doesn't... I mean, I can't... If somebody was to say that to me, I would be very polite, just smile and walk away, because I don't have the energy to fight. I don't have the energy for confrontation. So, regardless of your religious beliefs, it was God's will, unless you know that that person is also exceptionally religious and has the same beliefs as you. That's up to you, but to the average person, I you know. The other one is everything happens for a reason. For me, there is no reason. There's no good reason. I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it. The level of pain that people feel, me and my children, Carol's family, there's no reason for that. There's no real reason why it should have happened and the way it happened, and I'm not going to go into that, but there is no reason. There's something you could say is it's very hard to understand why something like this would happen. You know, that would be better than you know, everything happens for a reason. Because there is no good enough reason, especially if you lose a child. I mean, I couldn't imagine. There's no, you know, there's no way that you can absorb that kind of question and go, yeah, I get you. Must be something behind it. Or, you know, even worse, if you lose a child, to turn around and say, you have another child. I've heard that before on somebody had lost a child. I go to I know a support group, and go to a support group, and somebody had said to a family there that had lost a child, you have another child. Don't do that. Don't do that, because that takes away that child. It takes away the memories that they love for that. How, you know, that's what it comes across as. You know, something you could say instead of that would be, you know, that person can never be replaced, which is true, because they can't. You know, or, you know, I've heard it, you know, you can remarry. Yeah, thanks for that. Again, you can take that one with, you know, it was God's will, and that they can nestle up there together, because the thought of actually sharing my life again, I can't even imagine myself wanting to do that, let alone actually doing that. Everything changes. You know, I, for one, know that everything in life changes. One minute you're blissfully happy or relatively happy or ecstatically happy, next minute you are dragging your sorry ass through the gutter, hoping that tomorrow never comes. So, yeah, to turn around and say you can always remarry or something like that, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Or the other one I get is, and I get it, I understand, you know, you have to be strong. You have to be strong for the kids, and yes, I do. But no, I'm not. I don't know how to be strong. People that are grieving have absolutely no idea of how to be strong. I just don't. I knew how to be strong. Those days have gone for now. Something you could say is, you know, for you to turn around and say, be strong, you've got to be strong, is that really for the benefit of the person that is grieving? Or is it more to do with your benefit, because you don't want to see that person grieving? Which will lead up to actually my very last, real last topic that I have at the end. The real last thing I want to explain to at the end, which is something you should never do. But I'll get to that at the end. A grieving person doesn't know how to be strong. A grieving person really doesn't know how to be strong. So it's tough. It's tough. The other one I hear is, they wouldn't want you to feel sad. And I get that, they wouldn't, but don't chuck a bag of frigging guilt on my back as well. Because it is, I get so sad and feel guilty for that sadness, because I know that wherever Carol is, she won't want me to be sad, and she won't want me to feel this, and it is, that comes with a big shitload of grief. Somebody that's grieving needs to hear the words, it's okay to feel sad, because they feel like they're going mad, feel like they're losing their mind completely with the sadness. So for someone to come along and say it's okay, it's all right to feel like the way you're feeling, that is like godsend to somebody that's grieving, because they don't realise that it's actually, it's okay for me to feel this way. That's great, because they're tired of the guilt of feeling sad. The other one, at least they're not suffering now. Well, that's true, and they're not, but you really don't need to be reminded of the suffering that they went through. If you had somebody that passed away and they were terminally ill and they suffered horribly, my heart goes out to you, it really does. And they're not suffering now, but to remind the person of that, the pain that they suffered, that the person that passed away, the person that died suffered. And that's what's happening really. And this may sound heartless, because the person that's saying it only means good, and I get that, but saying something like they show great strength, that takes away what they went through and turned it into something beautiful. So that's my take on that one. One thing that I do hear a lot of, and that is, if you need anything, just let me know. That is, I hear it a lot, and the people that say it mean well. They do, they truly do mean well, but I don't know what I want. There are days when I don't know how to get out of bed in the morning. There are days that I forget to eat. There are days that I don't shower. There are days that I don't know how to function at all. So how am I supposed to tell you what I need? I can't. I have no idea what I need or what I want you to do for me. And I hear this a lot, and it's always, as I said, it's always said with great intention, but the person that's grieving has no idea what they can tell you what they want. They just don't. What you can do, what you can do is take the initiative. If you know that that person is eating, then take them a dinner. If you know that person is lonely, go and say hello, chat to them. Not in a way that you're trying to fix anything, but in a way that you're just with them, that you're there and that you are present with their grief. And if they want to talk about their dead person, then they can. because that's all a grieving person wants to do, is talk about their dead person. And if they have to say it 100 times, then sit and listen to it 100 times. If they want to cry, let them cry. If they want to scream, let them scream. That's what you can do, instead of saying, if there's anything we can do, just let me know, because they'll never let you know, because they don't know. You need to take initiative. The other thing is, and I hear this a lot, not to myself, because my wife passed away very young, you know, oh, at least I had a good innings. That doesn't really help when it comes to the person that's grieving, because if somebody that died was 103, there's still grief, and there's still loss, and there's still a hole in their life, and so it doesn't really help. So something you could say is, you know, have some fantastic memories of whoever, and share some of those memories, because if she lived to 103, there'll be a hell of a lot of memories. So I wanted to go on to the last thing. This is the real this happened to me, and please don't ever do this. People don't know what to say to you when you're grieving, I get it. People distance themselves from you, and I get it, because I don't want to look at myself in the mirror and see what looks back at me, because I see the pain in my own face. But I was driving down the road the other day, and there's a guy that lives 3 or 4 doors down walking his dogs up, and he has to walk past my house, and he saw me driving down, looked straight at me, and turned around and walked away and walked back into his house, so he didn't have to say anything to me, so he didn't have to look at me, so he didn't have to talk to me. It's happened a couple of times up the field. I've been walking the dog. People who've seen me, knew my situation, have gone the other way. Not because I walk up to people and go, hey, oh, well, can I talk about my dead wife? I don't do that. I don't walk up and I'm crying. I don't do that. But people don't know what to say. But don't walk away from them. Don't walk away from them and leave them on their own to experience not only the loss that they had, but now the loss of their friends. Just say hi, hello, tell them about your day, and be with them if you can. It takes strength, it takes courage, but you're giving somebody strength that has none, and there's goodness in that. So that's me putting the world to rights where that's concerned, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in a couple of days. Take care.